The weather and the sports world are colliding today. It's one big story. Tonight, the Chiefs and Dolphins are playing in frigid temperatures in Kansas City. Snow in Buffalo has pushed the Bills game back to a totally different day. Arielle Orsuto joins us now with NFL analyst Mike Sanford to talk about all of this. Weather, sports, it's just one story, guys.
It is one story, and honestly, it's the biggest. They're the two biggest stories of this entire weekend. And let's start definitely with that Bills game because it got pushed back from tomorrow to Monday. How is that, first of all, going to impact just the players themselves having to prepare for a whole different day?
Yeah, speaking firsthand from my experience, like everything you do travel-wise and your schedule is always like it's perfectly set. But if anything, I think it's going to be beneficial for both teams in the sense that some of those guys that might have been, questionable to play might get that extra day that they needed to be at full strength. I think travel probably changed for the away team, for the Steelers. Probably are going to fly out instead. They probably held their flight today and decided to fly tomorrow. I think for us fans, it's nice because now we have 2 games today, 2 tomorrow, and then 2 Monday.
Does either of the teams benefit from a game getting pushed back like that? Like a home team or an away team like that?
I would say, if anybody, probably just the home team, which I think is a humongous favorite in this game. I think the Bills are in a much better spot the way Josh Allen's playing right now than the Steelers and Mason Rudolph and all the things that are going on with the Steelers. I think just the Bills being in their environment, sleeping in their beds, and just being, in that comfortable spot and not having their travel mess with. I'd say the Bills definitely gets the advantage.
You know, the two teams in 2 totally different environments. I mean, Mike Tomlin with the Steelers, also another one of those coaches that possibly might not have a job after all of this is said and done. But yeah, I mean, like we're looking at pictures right now. This is actually from a year ago, but really, this is what you kind of expect to see out of Orchard Park. I mean, look at that snow. That was, again, from a year ago. But as we move on, there's a game tonight in Kansas City that the temperatures are, I think the wind chill is -27, the surface temperature. They finally got the surface temperature above 0 with the heaters underneath. That game wasn't moved. First, I mean, do you think there's like a disadvantage of that game being played tonight?
I think it's a major disadvantage for Miami. I mean, as an alum of U, you're looking at 72 degrees is the forecast in Miami. That's what you practiced in. There's no way to replicate playing in that type of environment. This is the 3rd coldest game in the history of the NFL relative to the wind chill. They're saying as low as -30 today, potentially. I think this is a major issue for the Dolphins going in and playing against the Chiefs on the road. Their body's acclimated to a completely different climate. I think that this is going to be a tough game with how many injuries the Dolphins have had throughout the course of these last 5 weeks of the season. I think it's going to depend largely on the health of Raheem Mostert.
And watch out for, obviously, the offense there because the kickers, that's going to be a tough game to kick in those conditions. Let's move on finally, obviously, a little bit closer to home. Jim Harbaugh is going to be looking for a new job, possibly in a good way, possibly a promotion in the NFL. Where do you see him going?
I think he's going to be here in the AFC West, and I think it's going to be seeing the Broncos twice a year. I think it's going to end up being the LA Chargers, just a guess. I think that the Raiders and the Chargers are both places that are very interested in his services. The thing that's unique about Jim Harbaugh is that he's been one of the few college crossover success stories. Very few that have been successful in college have gone to the NFL. But what he accomplished at the Niners, getting to a Super Bowl, I think it's very clear that he's capable of winning in the National Football League. And I think it's going to be with the LA Chargers because they have a quarterback, and the Raiders do not.
Yeah, they do have that quarterback. They've got a great quarterback there. We saw what he was able to do with multiple quarterbacks when he was in San Francisco between Alex Smith and Kaepernick. I mean, that'd be a really interesting thing. Thank you so much. So obviously, Mike Sanford will be back with us in just a little while. We're going to talk a lot more Broncos, though, coming up later. So
lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about, Jenny, with the Broncos. So
Do we have enough time for all? Just kidding.
We're not. Yeah, exactly. We do not have enough time. So we're going to get just the highlights, but we're not going to let him go too far.
Cool. We will check in with you guys in just a little bit. Thank you.